Welcome back for another episode, Spirit Bus 33 fam. Jyotishamara here, once again, excited to take a little trip with you, expanding our consciousness, learning how to become our favorite versions of ourselves, living more in the now, all while embarking on this wild, wondrous earth experience. Join me almost every week as we evolve together, exploring Toltec, holistic, interdimensional, spiritual, Eastern, and Western thinking and practices.
They're spiritual beings having a human experience.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having this earth experience at the same time as me. All right, so right now I'm kicking it in Ottawa, Illinois, exploring. Well, the winter's making it a little bit challenging as I'm not super fond of outdoor exploring while it's chilly. And yes, I do live in one of the most coldest places, so make that make sense. But nonetheless, here is some fun facts that I have learned about Ottawa. So the sand in Ottawa is so pure and consistent that the term, quote unquote, Ottawa sand is recognized for the purity. The sand is pure quartz. Okay, so from my research, so that means the sand is made out of high purity quartz crystals. So in the holistic world, in the metaphysical realm of this experience, this is pretty important. So we have energy amplification. So quartz is known as a master healer. So the sand, it can act as an amplifier. Quartz is also thought to help clear away negative energy while also helping to balance emotions. Quartz is vibrant in all frequencies of color, so it helps balance all the chakras, the Meridian system. It's also a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. I can keep going, but it makes me want to dig a little deeper. Literally, it makes me want to dig. I won't go dig in Ottawa, though. I will not go dig for the sand, but it makes me want to learn how I can harness this powerful energy here in the most sacred, grateful way possible. I'm sure I will be telling you more about Ottawa as it unfolds. Also, a little shout out to Side Chicks for an amazing offering right on your own time. Anyone that's wanting to complete a creative project, this guided collective that they have been so generous to start, it's an amazing opportunity to dedicate Wednesday evenings to putting your creativity into action. I'll have the info in the show notes in case you want to join. And you can join virtual. I'm joining virtual. They do have in person if you do live near Russellville, Arkansas. And if you remember past episodes, that's when I met them. So I'm really excited to be having this endeavor. Lots more to come. Really powerful teachers. I'm very happy that I met them. All right, so I could go on and on with all the synchronicities, all the patterns, the veil getting thinner, but we're on a mission. The mission of seeing what reality transurfing by Vadim Zealand has to offer. We're taking bits and pieces and we're adding them to our spiritual journey. We're trusting our inner voice. we're staying a little skeptical. Remember that Toltec fifth agreement is we are making sure that we feel aligned with something. We're not just being told that we're in alignment. If you're new here, this mission of reality transurfing, it started back episode 70. Or if you want the full trip, you can go head over to Spotify. The beginning episodes of this podcast are there. And interaction is really helpful. This is my verbal art studio. So if you could leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share, or if you want, there's a tip link in the show notes. Much appreciated. For those that are following along in the book, if you can, with my detours, I'm about page, 379 deep here. So to be able to utilize reality transurfing, one really has to get into shape. Not exactly go to the gym type of shape, although that probably is helpful too, but more get into energy shape. Vadim shares that there are two types of energy to harness during this earth experience: physiological energy and free energy. So with physiological energy, think digestive system, the foods, the hydration, what we put into our body. Free energy, think free energy of the cosmos. So the cosmos energy now, it's limitless. And the amount of energy that one is able to utilize from this free energy center, well, it depends on their central meridian system. Chakras, meridians, nervous system. We're going to be taking a big deep dive on all of that goodness following this philosophy. For now, though, think creating a safe, healthy space for your mind, body, belief system. This space is full of daily practices that nourish your energy centers. According to Vadim, when a person has no desire to do anything at all, they lack free energy. So depression, anxiety, trauma responses, central meridians are being blocked. And the space for free energy to enter, it becomes narrow. And sometimes it gets so narrow that it closes up and it can't even be utilized. Stress, interestingly enough, on the other hand, it can narrow, which I think we have all probably felt the energy gets sucked completely out of us when stress occurs. But what's interesting is it can also dilate, it can open up the central meridian. And this depends on how the stress is interpreted. Vadim shares, stress is a consequence of importance. Stress can be instantly relieved by reducing importance. Could be controversial depending on our shaping experiences, our conditioning. But think about that. Stress can be instantly relieved by reducing importance. So, in talking to people about stressful moments after the occurrence, most of the time when I talk to them and I ask them to reflect on what was going on during that stressful moment, right in the thick of it, they are not thinking about their practices, their skills, or maybe even transurfing. They were in automatic, tense responses. I think we can all, this is a collective experience. We have all experienced this at some point. And to have the opposite, well, it takes practice. It takes practice to be the observer, to keep your inner voice awake through the entire experience, replacing toxic, tense stress with relaxed, present, balance, the observer watching, starting with an intentional body scan, We're mastering the avatar that we are rocking. We're choosing how to sit, what to say. We're choosing the entire experience while we are experiencing the surge of stress. This does not mean that fucky shit is not gonna happen. It doesn't. But it means that we can transform the energy. It means that we can be an alchemist. And that moment when you are transforming the energy, you are drawing it from the cosmos, you are creating from the alternative space, that actually can dilate the meridian system. Okay, so now what about all the energy around us? Other people's energy. Vadim shares, it is much easier to absorb someone else's energy that has already been assimilated by the human body than to draw energy from the cosmos. Now, page 385, it goes into energy vampires, and I'm going to leave that for you to do your own exploration. I don't want to put anything into somebody's awareness that then they start to scan their family or their friends and they start to label them. That is a choose your own adventure. And Vadim does have some kind of warnings in place there that's good to look at. But for now, we're just going to move into how do you protect yourself? So it starts with our aura. And when the aura, the energy field around us, becomes weak, we're at risk of assault on our energy, whether it be from the people around us. And again, this isn't usually an intentional thing for the people around us. It is usually just an automatic, unaware, subconscious, reaction that they're having to the own uncomfortability in their earth experience, in their body. So this is why daily practices of shielding are so helpful. And just as important as shielding, energy work on ourselves, drawing energy in from above and below. Reminder here, you can work with your own meridian system just by focusing your attention there. There's this amazing like practice that Vadim kind of goes into detail about. And if you stand up and you visualize energy coming from below and it's going up all through your entire meridian system, which would be in the back, through your spine, through those nerve bundles, and it's coming up, all of the energy harness from Mother Earth, coming all the way up, and then it is going to the top of your head. And then you're having energy come all the way from above. You can imagine what's up there, cosmos, the alternative space, everything that was. And it's coming down and it's going down the meridian system and down to your feet and below your feet. And the two of them are running simultaneously. And if you visualize that and you're able to visualize both of them at the same time, now remember, if you start feeling heavy in your head, then the one that's coming from above down is stronger than the one that's coming from your feet up. So trying to kind of balance that out, to feel your energy balancing out. And then after you kind of get down with that, you can start to visualize this energy that is above your head and below your feet into a huge ball, a sphere, bubble, shield around you. And then you can start practicing how far can you push it out? Like how far can you get that out around you? You can kind of feel your aura through that. And you can do the shielding practices that way. You can align your meridians just with the attention. Of course, there's lots of other ways. We'll go into it. I'm going to get ahead of myself here. So he also shares this powerful mantra that I think is very good. He states, my channels are widening and my intention energy is increasing. So while you're doing that is imagining the meridians widening there. They're able to take in this free energy, and your intention energy is increasing. So your ability to visualize and go through that whole process that I just shared with you is increasing. Your ability to stay present and mindful and focused during really stressful things is increasing. So, regardless if you take what has been mentioned here in Transurfing, another philosophy, maybe you get some downloads from your guides, from the people around you, your family, the importance is taking care of yourself, your mind, your body, your energy centers, your belief system. That is how we truly are able to be an alchemist, how we're able to utilize this free energy, how we're able to create reality. All right, it's a 3-card drawing from the Osho deck. First card, breakthrough. Now, while we're doing this work, while we are on the healing journey, it is not something that we will really, well, we can dip our toes in and we can kind of willy-nilly it. But when we really go full in, we will start to see breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. We'll start to integrate those into our daily life. And it's important when you see those breakthroughs is maybe get a journal and maybe just write a little bit about it, because it's so nice to be able to see the progress. I know when you look back at your 5-year ago self, you'll notice that way too. But it's nice to recognize a really stressful situation that maybe you really would have had an automatic huge reaction before, and you just flowed through it, just calm and collected, to really recognize those breakthroughs and to sit in that sense of gratitude. It's the same as when you are really going to the gym and working out. It takes a while to see the muscle. It takes a while to see some of the differences. It's really celebrating all the small successes. Middle card, of course, inner voice. Vadim shares a lot about that, as we're really starting to strengthen our inner voice, our internal guidance system, the observer self, also important. It's really difficult to make changes if we're not tapping into that, if we're not observing ourselves, because then we would just be doing the same thing over and over again, right? And then this last card is the miser card. And this card, it's pretty powerful because it's a reminder that if we are clinging to anything, that might be what is narrowing the meridian system, is any type of, I have to have this in order to be healthy. I have to have this in order to be me, whatever it is we can get really stuck in the modality of it all. We can get stuck in the practices to where, we have all of our crystals and our quartz and all of these things. And if we didn't have them, we would feel lost. But this is all available to us without all of the bells and whistles. We can enjoy them. We can enjoy reality transurfing. We can enjoy the meridian system. We can enjoy all of this great description. But we also know that we do not need to be attached to this. This is an experience. This is an earth experience. And we're able to use our words and we are able to describe it in many different ways. And it's juicy and it's lovely. But it's temporary. So not getting so clingy to certain material objects in this journey, being able to release. It's always good to do a little scan too of the things that you feel that you're holding tight. So whether they be a material object or whether they be a person, and do a little journey on that, maybe some journaling on that too, of, why does that feel so hard if you had to release a little bit? You probably want to work with somebody for that. That can be a little bit of a tricky journey unless you've been really on your healing journey for a while, and everything I'm saying, just is kind of second nature. But in the beginning, that can be kind of scary to even be, considering letting go of people, places, things. Well, as always, this has been an amazing time. I appreciate you so much. I'm excited to see what next week, possibly next week. It's been a little busy of a time period. I think next week. I think it'll be, but I'm excited to see you then.
Thank you for tuning in. We are spiritual beings having a human experience.